Hi, Jasmine and Juan. Yeah, there is a huge gender gap in terms of who is getting the COVID-19 vaccine. Many more women are than men, and some of that is explained by the fact that men are less likely to use preventive health care services, and in minority communities, it's about trust. But one expert I talked to says who's been eligible for the vaccine so far is also contributing to that gap. New data shows a gender gap in who's getting the COVID-19 vaccine across the U.S. and here in the Southland. In L.A. County, 44% of women have gotten at least one dose of a COVID vaccine, while only 30% of men have, even though in the county, men die from COVID at higher rates than women. Kevin Hopkins owns this barbershop in Leimert Park. He says he and many of his customers know several people who lost their lives to COVID.
So that is definitely a concern, from a public health, understanding that this is communicable disease and that how it spreads. But at the same time, just apprehensive.
But he says there's still a huge hesitancy towards the vaccine in his community.
From a historical standpoint, especially black males not trusting the medical industry.
LA County data shows the gender gap is even bigger in communities of color. Only 19% of black men and 17% of Latino men have gotten at least one dose of the COVID-19 vaccine. Experts say some of that is due to lack of trust in institutions, including healthcare. But they also say
over time, the resistance to vaccines is diminishing as more and more people see other individuals or know other individuals, family members and friends who have gotten vaccinated.
Kaiser Family Foundation Senior Vice President Alina Salganikoff says the gender gap is also explained by who's been eligible for the vaccine so far.
First of all, we targeted people that were 65 and older, and that's disproportionately a female population. So we're going to see many more women vaccinated in that group. In addition to that, we really opened it up to healthcare workers, long-term care workers, and also nursing home residents, which are also disproportionately women.
So based on that, as the eligibility opens up, the gender gap is likely to get smaller. LA County also tells us they're beginning to do outreach to get more men to get vaccinated. Live in downtown LA, Hermela Aragawi, KCAL 9 News.
Yeah, got to make the time, get vaccinated. Hermela, thanks so much. Well, second and third